All right, guys, we've got a couple minutes. I'm adding the playlist into the chat right now. That first part is the link. I don't know why it's not showing up as a link. The bottom part, Soul 61, that is the playlist name if you wanted to search for it on Spotify. So again, playlist information on the chat. You are welcome to play that on your own devices. That's going to be easiest. What I'm playing is not going to be very easy to hear. But yeah, about 3 minutes to go. Make yourselves comfortable. Cushions, stack of blocks, or a stack of books as blocks if you want them. I'm not going to talk about much. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get us started here. So once again, playlist information is in the chat. That first part is the link. It's not showing up like a link to me. I hope that it's showing up like a link to you. The bottom part, Soul 61, that is the name of the playlist. So if you want to search for it separately, you can certainly do that. You can have no music at all, and this whole thing will work too. It's just I prefer music, and that's the one that I'm using today. That's not all I had for you. This is your 7 o'clock Strong Flow. My name is Kate. If we haven't met, welcome to class. And if you are looking for things to grab, I've been saying this recently, but a couple cushions nice to have around. A stack of books can work as if they were blocks if you were looking for some height, but I'm not going to talk about much. We're just going to get right into it. If you are ready to go ahead and lie down on your back. I'm going to tell you when I start the playlist. It'll be right before we start to move. I won't lose you. It'll be fine. So laying down to your back when you can, all the way down to the floor. And you can really give yourself a nice big space on that, or you can tuck it in and make it a lot more structured. Whatever you have to start with, you can inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Let's go for one more of those. Take an inhale. And take an exhale. Now we switch this to more of an internal breath if you have it available. Breathe in through your nose. Close your mouth. And breathe out through your nose. If you can get more of an ujjayi breath going on that, kind of scraping the sound at the back of your throat on the inhale and the exhale, you'll start to create this kind of furnace at the back of your head. You might imagine that that is warming you up from top to bottom, but at least picture the path of this breath as it moves around in your system. We'll give it a couple rounds here. We are going to add some movement to this, and I am going to start the playlist here. If you are following along with it, you can start it as well. It doesn't have to match up completely. We're not doing things like on the beat. So when you're on your back again, draw your knees into your chest. And take one hand on each of your knees and start to roll them around a little bit. You could go in one big circle around. You could start to make separate circles like an infinity sign. We begin to make this more of a lateral movement. With your knees all the way together and tucked in toward your chest, swish them over to the left, through the middle, and over to the right. So imagine that you've got this horizontal line running across. That's the line the knees start to follow. When you feel good about it, take your arms out of the equation. They can come down, they could go wide. If you can bring them overhead, I want you to try it. You might start to get a little bit bigger to the side. Keep both of your shoulders down. Try to pick your knees up through the middle with the strength of your belly. Starts to catch them. If you feel good about it, you want to go further. As you head toward the left, extend your legs out as a unit. Bring your knees back in through the midline. Over to the right and extend the leg. Bend, bring it in. Over and extend. Then exhale to bring it in. The inhale's kind of that extension transition. If you want the last piece of this, come over to the left, extend your leg. Now keep them extended, bring them up through the middle. Over to the left, arc them forward a touch. So you're essentially making one big arc. Up, over and forward. Up, over and forward. See what you can do with it. Shoulders are both heavy. Breath is going to drive you around. And then back through the middle, grab behind your thighs, work your legs a little bit straighter now that you have some support. You can kick into your ankles or your toes. We're going to pull this into a straight leg seat. You might pause in a boat pose if you have it available. But as your legs go heavily to the floor, you can upright your chest. And if that's too far forward, scoot it back. Legs extend, feet are flexed, reach your arms up and overhead. Take an inhale. Seated fold on your exhale. Now it's early for one of those, so it may not be all that far forward. But grab what you can catch, move your chest forward. If you lift your chest, you might take your hands out of the equation here too, but bend your knees, cross at your ankles, roll it into a tabletop position. We'll take two cat-cows together. On an inhale, lengthen your chest forward, hips back. Exhale, curl the whole thing in. One more time together. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to curl it. Now it's yours. If you want circles, side bends, or barrel rolls, take a couple rounds. As you come back through the middle, walk your hands toward your knees, have a seat on your shins. Sweep your arms up and overhead, take an inhale. Cactus elbows wide, maybe throw your hands behind you on the exhale. We're gonna do another one of those. Inhale, scoop it up. Exhale, wide, throw it behind. If you wanna be bigger with it, stand up on your knees as your arms come up. Wide behind, have a seat on the shins as you come down. But it's yours. You could stay big if you want to. The up and down is actually gonna work your legs a little bit more. Belly button pulls into your back so there's less of a curve at your spine. The next time you've landed on your shins, right hand back behind you like a prop, left hand up and to the side. You might lift your hips here. It's a big side bend on the left side body. Bring your hips down, reach your arms up, stand up on your knees. Take an inhale. Like you're diving into it, into a tabletop on your exhale. It might be a little bit longer. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Let's find a downward facing dog. Stretch it out, give it a breath. Walk your feet behind your wrists, forward fold at the top of your space. Soft knees, heavy torso, roll it up to stand. You'll reach your arms up and overhead when you get there. Take an inhale. Roll it back down to a fold on your exhale. We get 2 more of those. Inhale to roll it up. Exhale to roll it down. 1 more. From your fold, we find a halfway lift, fingertips to shins, halfway. Inhale. Fold it down, exhale. Let's go for 2 more. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold it. This time, that flat back is your inhale. As you fold, step your left foot back to lunge, exhale. Back knee comes down, arms come up for a kneeling crescent. Take an inhale. But then hands to heart center and pause with it on your exhale. Belly to spine, spine is straight up and down. See if you can do it without a lot of shifting. Bring your right knee next to your left knee. You're back in that kneeling position. Come down to a seat on your shins. Left hand behind you like a prop, right hand high, maybe lift your hips. Big side body stretch on the right side. Bring your hips down through the middle, but then scoop it up to stand on your knees. Take an inhale. Dive into that long table on your exhale. Lift up to your down dog, give it a full breath. Bend your knees, walk it up to a fold at the top of the space. Now here, interlace your hands, flip them inside out. Come on up to stand with those flipped up hands. Take an inhale. Side bend to the right, take an exhale. Through the middle, take an inhale. Side bend to the left. Now you can go side to side again. You lose my head when I get up tall, so I'm gonna show you what that looks like. If you want to stir it around, you can move this in a big stiff circle. But kind of feel it out. See how big you can get through the sideways. Through the middle, press your hands up, lift your gaze, take an inhale. Press it with a flat back all the way down to fold on your exhale. When you get there, release your fingertips to your shins, halfway lift, inhale. Step the right foot back to lunge, exhale. Back knee down, kneeling crescent on an inhale. Hands to heart center, stabilize it, exhale. Use that back shin, press it all the way into the floor. Step it to your knees, knees together. We start low on the shins. We're just gonna take it side to side this time. Right hand down, left hand high, lift your hips. Sweep it through the middle and up to the other side. You can get really big with this. You could go really fast, kind of winging around like a helicopter, where you stay where it feels sticky still and give it some space. One big move, bring it up to stand on your knees. Take an inhale. Dive in, long table, exhale. Lift up to a down dog, take an inhale. And then shift forward to your plank pose on an exhale. Let's give it a really good breath. Lower all the way down to your belly when you can. Hands under your shoulders, elbows pinned back. Baby cobra, inhale. Lower it back down on your exhale. 2 more. If you can come off the hands, lift them off the floor. Take an inhale. Lower it down, exhale. 1 more time like that. Inhale. Lower, push your hands into the floor. Plank pose, push it up. Downward facing dog, push it back. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop this time to the top of the space. Halfway lift, take an inhale. Hold it down, take an exhale. We move to a chair pose this time. Hips sit back, arms reach up or forward. And then really make that a strong chair pose, the deepest one you have available at this time. Take a big breath in. Sweep your arms back on your exhale. We can add to that. Bring your arms back up, take an inhale. As the arms come back, heels lift up, exhale. Let's try it again. Inhale. Heels up, arms back, exhale. 1 more like that. Inhale. And exhale, let's pause with it. As your right foot comes down, left foot steps to the back of the mat like a lunge. Back heel turns down, open out to a big warrior 2. You can change the feet if it wasn't quite long enough, but give it a breath. Now, as you straighten your right leg, and let your wrists cross in front of your belly. As you rebend your right leg, you're back in warrior 2. We're gonna do a couple breaths on that. Cross the wrists and straighten. Sweep it wide, warrior 2. 1 more time. This warrior 2 we pause with. Reverse warrior, take an inhale. Warrior 2, but straighten the right leg, exhale. Shift up and a little forward, take an inhale. Triangle pose on your exhale. So that bend and straightening you were just doing, there's kind of a little bit of it still here in this triangle, like it wants to bend. It's still really active. Open your chest, give it a breath. Now, as you bend your right knee, put your hands to the floor. Bring your back knee down. Kneeling crescent on an inhale. Hands to heart center. This time twist to your right on your exhale. Left elbow outside your right thigh. Palm on top of palm. See if you can get off your back knee. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. We're gonna do this really slowly. Unhook your elbow. Square off your chest to the front of the room. Maybe reach your arms forward. There's your lightning bolt lunge. Take an inhale. Plank pose is your exhale. Hands down, foot steps back. If you want a fuller vinyasa, here it is. Lower halfway down. Upward facing dog, take an inhale. Downward facing dog, take an exhale. Give it a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop your way to the top of the space. Halfway lift, take an inhale. Fold it down, take an exhale. Chair pose, take an inhale. Just once, heels up, arms back, take an exhale. Can you keep it, but get heavy? It's 3, 2, 1. As your left heel comes down, right foot steps back. As you turn it down, we open to a big old warrior 2. Get your bearings, get your wide feet. I'm purposely not giving you the breath on this because we're going to change it next time. But as you straighten your left leg, cross your wrist, open it wide, warrior two. So whatever breath makes more sense to you here, the next time is probably going to be different. Land your warrior two, keep the legs. Reverse warrior, left hand lifts, take an inhale. Warrior two, but straighten the left leg, exhale. Shift forward and a little up, take an inhale. Triangle pose on your exhale. And again, all that bending and straightening, we're just doing the leg. It's happening here too. It's like it's fighting to stay straight. It wants to bend. That's the living leg. Right hand reaches straight up. Bend your left knee, bring your hands to the floor. Back knee comes down. Kneeling crescent, take an inhale. Into your twist on your exhale, right elbow outside your thigh. If you can get off your back knee, try it here. So we created the twist first, and then we're adding these longer legs. So the twist stays the same. You're charging up the legs. The slower you do this, the more control you have over it. Unhook your elbow. Turn your chest to face the front of the room. Maybe reach your arms forward. That's your inhale. Chaturanga is the exhale. Hands down, bend the elbows if you're taking that option. Downward facing dog is where we go. And we start to change some things here. Right leg goes up from your down dog. Take an inhale. Right knee, left elbow, cross it under, exhale. Let's go 2 more times. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, cross it under. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, cross it under. Let's pause right here. Bring your thigh to your chest. Step your foot between your hands. Stay off the back knee here. Tall crescent lunge. Take an inhale. And then into your chair with the heels up on your exhale. You can pause. You might have a crow pose you want to throw in or a couple handstand hops. Let's give it a breath. Find your variations. We'll meet in chair with the heels up again. This time, bring your arms up. Take an inhale. 1 big step. Left foot steps back, arms back, exhale. Open to warrior two. Heels are down if they stayed up through that. Now here we get to change this. So as you straighten this leg, give it a little push. You're trying to get it off the floor. And if you do, as the leg straightens, foot comes off the ground. It might be a full kicked out leg. It might be more of a hamstring curl. You choose. You can add the arms with this. Up and in. Now that push is an exhale, which might not have been what you were doing before. Give it a couple tries. We meet in a warrior two when you have one. Reverse warrior, take an inhale. This time side angle on your exhale. Maybe it's a little lower, you got a warmer leg. Maybe it's pretty high because we haven't done this one yet. Reverse triangle on the way out of it. Straighten your right leg, right hand lifts. Take an inhale. Regular triangle on your exhale. I want you to imagine that this leg is trying to fight for a side angle and then back to triangle. That same bending and straightening we've been doing. One of those can shift you to a half moon. The bend takes you forward. The straightening pulls your back foot off the ground. You could sweep that into and out of the shape if you want to test it. But we're going to meet in a lunge when you have it. Back foot down, hands can come down or maybe they float. Tall crescent lunge, take an inhale. Hands to heart center, twist to the right on your exhale. When we create the twist first, we add the leg second, So that applies here too. Here's your twist, keep it. Step into your chair twist. Let's do it a couple times. Step back to your lunge. Step into your chair. One more time. Into your chair twist. Now, if you have a side crow, a Kundalini B, you can throw it in here. Maybe you lift off the heels in your twist instead, or hold what you have for 2 breaths. I want you to get out of it slowly. Unhook your elbow, square off to the center line. Come up to stand, take an inhale. Forward fold on your exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga, if you want one, let's go back to down dog. Take a big breath in. And take a big breath out. Let's try this other side. Left leg goes up, take an inhale. Left knee, right elbow, cross it under on your exhale. 2 more of those. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, cross it under. 1 more. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, cross it under, pause with it. Bring the knee to the chest. Step your foot between your hands. Tall crescent lunge here. We're off the back knee if you can. The arms up, take an inhale. It's 1 big move. Chair pose, heels up, arms back on your exhale. See if you can keep the heels up, arms come up, take an inhale. Step your right foot back, open to warrior 2 when you have it. All right, so again, we try these lift offs. Straighten the left leg, think about pushing the floor away. It happens in 1 big push if you've got it. Into the leg gathered up, off the floor. Could be a kicked out leg. You could bend and point the toe in. Kind of depends on your knee and how it feels about this. Add some arms. That exhales the push away from the floor for most of us. Just try it out. For 3, 2, 1. Meet me in a warrior 2. Reverse warrior, take an inhale. Side angle on your exhale. Again, this doesn't have to be low to be effective. You do want to create some space in your inner thigh and wide across your chest. Reverse triangle is your exit. Straighten your left leg, lift your left hand. Take an inhale. Triangle pose on your exhale. Move it forward and down. And again, from triangle, it's like your leg is fighting for a side angle. And then back to triangle. Eventually that bend carries you forward. The straightening pulls you off the ground with the back foot for your half moon. But if you want the full transfer a couple times, try it out. Back, it's forward and up. Meet me in a lunge when you have it. Back foot down, hands can come down for support. Maybe they float. Tall crescent, take an inhale. Revolved crescent, take an exhale. Right elbow outside your thigh. Again, we're starting with the twist. We're adding some leg work. Keep your twist as solid as possible. Step your right foot to your left foot, chair twist. And back to your lunge. We go for 2 more, up to chair. Back to lunge. Up to chair. Back to lunge. Meet me in this chair twist. If you want anything fancy with it, side crow, Kundalini B with the legs extended. Or maybe you stay in a chair twist, even add a heel lift. You don't have to do any of those things. What's calling to you right now? From your twist, let's move slow. Unhook your elbow, square off to the front. Come up to stand, arms reach. Take an inhale. Forward fold, take an exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga if you want one. Let's go to down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, let's build one more time on this. We're skipping all the wide stuff, but right leg goes up, take an inhale. Right knee, left elbow, exhale. If you have a fallen triangle, flick your foot out, reach your left hand up. We're still going to lunge. So if you have your fallen triangle, left hand down, right knee to chest. Step it through. Tall crescent lunge, take an inhale. Find your twist here on your exhale. Here's where we're headed today. We're getting right into it. From your twisted crescent, keep the twist, transfer weight forward. Maybe you pick up the back foot, you get a warrior three twist. Give it a breath. Cross your left ankle behind your right. Unhook your elbow, square off your chest. Lift your right leg on top of your left. You've got a set of eagle legs. You might now reach your arms forward. If you want the most of this, swing your arms back. See if you can lift off your left heel. As you bring your heel down, you can bring your hands down. You might scoot your left foot further to the left. Walk your hands to the right. If you hook your elbow outside your thigh, you might find an eagle leg side crow. So dig in with your elbows. It's a shift forward with your chest. Legs stay wrapped. They just might fly. You set this down the way you want to. Meet me in a forward fold at the top of the mat. Feet about hip bone distance apart. We're gonna get really big on the way out of this. Reach all the way up, arms overhead. Take an inhale. Cactus elbows, throw your hands behind you, exhale. You can make a fist, punch it down, take an inhale. Fist pulls over to your fold on your exhale. You get a couple breaths if you want to wiggle it free. Hands to shins, halfway lift, take an inhale. Chaturanga if you want one. Let's go to down dog. All right, here's the last side of that build, and then we get to kind of change gears and get you the rest of the way warm, just in case you weren't yet. But from your downward facing dog, left leg goes up and back, take an inhale. Left knee to right elbow, cross it under on your exhale. If you have your fallen triangle, left foot kicks out to the left, right hand lifts up to the sky. I have a terrible modeling job going on here because I ran out of room. Just trust me on this. Right hand down, left knee to chest. Step your foot through when you can. Tall crescent lunge, take an inhale. Into your twist on your exhale, right elbow to your left thigh. Again, twist stays. Keep the integrity of it as best you can. Weight starts to shift forward in your left foot. As you straighten the left leg, it's what's gonna pick this back foot off the floor. You might need to keep a bend in the knee, that's fine. But press out through both of your legs. Slowly, if you can, right ankle behind your left ankle. Unhook your elbow, square your chest to the front. If you slide your left leg up your right leg, you've got a set of eagle legs. You might reach your arms forward. You want this last piece of standing balance, arms sweep back, right heel might lift off the floor. Heel comes down, hands can come down. If you want your eagle leg side crow, you might need to scoot your foot to the right so you have some room. Walk your hands to the left. They can kind of plant on a diagonal. The plant of the hands doesn't have to be perfect. You're really kind of falling anyway. As you put your hands down, bottom knee bend. Keep your hips kind of popped up. As your elbows bend, one of them catches the side of your thigh, the other braces your rib cage. As you tip forward, you squeeze your legs together. That's the lift. If your hips drop too far, they will drag you backwards. Keep them lifted. There's no special trick to get out of it. You can fall, you can unwrap it. Meet me in a forward fold. But this time we go wide, feet as wide as the mat. Roll it up to stand, arms reach. Take an inhale. Cactus elbows, make a fist if you got one on your exhale. And then dive into this wide fold here. If you have your fist, I want you to really use it. Soften the elbows. Tap your right shoulder to your right knee, it can bend. Tap your left shoulder to your left knee, it can bend. Maybe there's one that needs more attention. Give it a couple tries. As you release your hands, widen your toes if you need more room. Sit it down to a Malasana squat. Doesn't have to be a perfect squat. If you're this low, you want your heels to the floor. That'll protect your knees because you won't be tipping forward. So if you're not this low, more like a wide chair. Do it 3 times. Interlace your hands. As you flip them inside out, come up to stand. Take an inhale. Back to wide squat, exhale. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Hands down, straighten your legs, toes forward. Halfway lift, take an inhale. Chaturanga if you want one. We're going back to down dog where we really switch this up. Most of you have done this with me before, unless you're watching on demand, in which case I have no numbers on this. But a short down dog is gonna help. We're only gonna do a couple of them. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. If you wanna know what it looks like, I am gonna demo this first one and then we'll do it together. Bend your knees, bend your elbows. You have to go forward enough to push it backwards. Hands to your feet in one big shove to the back of the mat. Let's do it together. Find your short down dog. The short one will help. Bend your knees forward, bend your elbows wide. Shove it, hands to your feet. Yeah, halfway lift, take an inhale. Hold it, exhale. Stand up, reach up, arms overhead, take an inhale. Fold right back down on your exhale. A halfway lift, look where you're headed, like that dive we took at the beginning, but now it's a plank instead of a tabletop. Bend your knees, catch your body halfway down in chaturanga. You take a push up, you can take a back bend. Meet me in a down dog. We go for 2 more. Bend your knees, bend your elbows, shove your hands to your feet. Halfway lift, inhale. Hold it, exhale. Stand up, reach up, inhale. Hold right back down, exhale. Halfway lift, look where you're headed, where is it? Dive in, chaturanga. Push up or back bend. Meet me in down dog. We get 1 more. Short down dog, take an inhale. Hands to feet, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Hold it, exhale. Stand up, reach up, inhale. Hold right back down, exhale. Don't think about it too hard. Halfway lift, inhale. Dive in, catch it. Downward facing dog. Drop your knees down. Push your hips back. Find a child pose. Walk your hands to your knees. Come to stand on your knees. We're working into camel, and you could certainly stay low and take that half camel sweep that we took at the beginning. If you do want more of a traditional camel, standing on your knees, hands to the backs of your hips. Fingertips point down, and instead of using your hands to kind of push your hip bones forward, I want you to use it to encourage the backs of your hips to slide down. All the same in any direction on this. Open your chest, take an inhale. Pin your elbows together on your exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Again, it's really tempting to kind of push it forward. Think about that melt down the backside. If you have something bigger, the expansion of your chest starts to tip upward. Elbows start to tip downward. If you can reach something like your feet, a set of books on each side or some cushions, you could. Cushions aren't as helpful on this one. You want something sturdy. Same idea. Lift, take an inhale. Structure your elbows, take an exhale. When you're out of your last breath, have a seat on your shins, palms in your lap, soften your gaze. We move to a tabletop position. You can widen your knees once you've found it. You take a couple really big circles around, hips to the right, to the back, to the left, and forward. Switch direction to the left, back, to the right, and around. Take your time with it. Scrape the edges of what you're moving with. We're headed to a hip opener from here. If you know that half pigeon's not going to be your best bet, move to your back, take your figure four. Otherwise, down dog when you've got one. Right leg goes up, take an inhale. Right shin comes forward on your exhale, right knee ditched off to the side. Scoot your back leg all the way behind you and tuck your toe. Almost like you're this really long, stretchy noodle on top of this weird right leg. So let the right leg be okay first, and then stretch long and land. We have about a minute here, so if I lost you and you're on the live stream, you can send me a chat. You need extra instruction. Let's give it a couple breaths. We're headed to the second side. So if you came from down dog, head back to down dog and give it a couple kicks. You can even flip it over if you want to. There's no race to get to your second leg. You get to it the way that you want to. And because it's the second side, there is a tendency to kind of flop on into it because you know where you're headed. But can you pretend you've never been here before? Give it the same kind of intention, the same commitment to structure on this. Long like a noodle on top of your weird wide left leg. We are here for about a minute, so if you've gotten lost and you have some questions, send me a message. Give it a couple breaths. It's your exit strategy. Maybe it's a last down dog. You want to see it out. Take any extra standing wiggles if you need them. So meet me in a seated position. Again, it's not a race. Get there the way you want to. We were in the seated position very early on in class with your legs extended, feet flexed, which means we can play around with a different version of it here. Reach your arms up and overhead. Bend your elbows. You can take your palms flat to the backs of your shoulder heads, or you can make a fist. For me, the flat hands help scoop the elbows straight on top of the shoulder, but that might be different for you. Keep this almost like a camel pose, not like Camel the animal, but lift your chest, pull your belly to your spine, slide the backs of your hips all the way into the mat. Keep this happening. Start to scrape your elbows toward your toes. Right when your back wants to round, that's where we pause on this. Commit to another breath. Take an inhale. Scrape forward, exhale. One more if you can stand it. And as you unpack your arms, you reach for what they can grab here. It may not be the toes even still. It might be further up the leg. Once you do that, it's really tempting to round, but can you commit to the same back you just had? Chest forward, hips melt back. Maybe drop your head. We'll get a softer version in a second. Release the grip if you have one. Upright your chest. If this is a terrible place to keep sitting, find a regular seat, like a cross-legged seat. You're gonna take your thumbs to the back of your skull, right where that ridge is at the back of your head. Your thumbs at the bottom of that ridge. And you press your thumbs in and you pull your thumbs up, like that's an eject button, and it would give you a lot more space in your neck. You could massage it. You could kind of dig in a little bit deeper. The lift of this is the key. Lift up, give it space. Keep as much space as you can imagine you have. Release your hands, tent your fingertips to the floor. So all that space is still happening, like you've got a string that attaches your head to the top of the ceiling. And from there, maybe drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Up through the middle, there's that space. Left ear, left shoulder. You can take it down through the middle, try for some circles here, but all the while your head has that string. You've got a lot of lift with it. As you lift your head back up, hopefully it still feels like it has space. Extend your legs if you went to a cross-legged seat, but then walk your feet wide as the mat. Bend your knees a little more than you planned on to be in a seated position. You take a rounded back fold, arms come up, drape your chest forward, round your spine, shoulders to the insides of your knees, and if they connect, they can kind of push into each other, widen some space across your shoulder blades. We're going to happy baby. So if I lose you, make your way to happy baby on your back, laying on your spine. You want it from here, grab for your outer feet. You can work your feet in if you need a little bit more traction, but keep your feet, roll to your back. That's just a pillow. I thought I was gonna hit the wall. Find your happy baby when you can. The alignment of this is a little bit loose, so you don't have to have perfectly straight up and down shins. Your back can kind of lift up in places, but keep a grab of your feet if possible. Rock this shape toward the right. Outer right thigh will find the floor. At the same time, you push your left foot up to the sky. Push down with your right kidney. Let's switch that. Left knee bends as you rock this to the left. Outer left thigh connects to the ground as your right foot pushes up. You push heavily into your left kidney. Give it a little massage. Maybe you like that enough to keep going with it from side to side, massage it out. Or you can set up more of a traditional happy baby, or even extend both legs at the same time. Give it a couple of breaths to get into your back. On your way out of this, release the grab, hug your knees to the center line of your chest. We're headed to a plow pose, but if you'd rather do a legs up the wall, it's going to give you a similar benefit without as much work. You could take a supported bridge. You get upside down in a different way. If it's plow, palms by your sides, knees into your chest. Push into the whole back line of your arms and the backs of your shoulders to lift your hips off the floor. Stretch your feet to the wall behind you. Your toes might curl under if they've gotten that far, but bring your hands to your back if your feet aren't on the ground. Work your elbows straight forward from your shoulders. It's the same hands you had in camel, encouraging your hips to now slide up to the sky. Keep your head pretty still. Try not to turn your face. If you have a shoulder stand from here, you can find it. If you went to shoulder stand, you come back to plow. You're in plow. As you release your hands to the floor, bend your knees. Skate your legs over your belly as you return your hips to the ground. You can bend your knees, step your feet to the ground. sway your knees a little bit from side to side. Now talk you through a fish pose just to get big one more time after all that compression. If you don't want it, maybe you take a bridge or stay with your swaying knees. If you're finding fish, extend your legs out in front of you, glue them together. Work your hands underneath your hip bones, palms to the floor. You push through your hands and the whole line of your forearms up into your elbows. As you lift your chest to the sky, you might drop your gaze back, land to the top of your head. The weight of your arms, the pull back with your belly, that's what gives you a little extra lift. We get out of this the way we got in. Push down with your arms. Return your gaze to the sky as you return the back of your head to the floor. And then wiggle your arms out from underneath you. You need to hug your knees in one more time or gather up some props. We are now here at the bottom of things. Headed into Shavasana, your final rest. If you have a couple things you need to do before you get there, you need some extra clothing for a very specific spot, take what you need for that. I will guide you in and I will guide you out. If you don't want to be guided out, if you're like done for the night, you are welcome to leave the meeting here or turn off the recording. And if you're running with me, let's start with the breath. Bring it carefully into your system, all the way down to your toes. Let it filter something out of you and out into the world around you. And that happens over and over, but we'll do one more together here. Take an inhale. And take an exhale. If you feel ready to be guided out, start with your breath. And before it starts to drive you around, just kind of see what it is. You can put your dibs in for what you want from it. And then maybe you help make that decision. Where is this breath going to go? How big will it make your hands? How will it roll your ankle? You and your breath together like a team. If you're ready to get bigger, reach your arms overhead, extend your legs out long, take a big breath in. Roll off to a side or tuck it into a ball, whatever seems doable. Meet me in a seated position when you have one. Hands at heart center, soften your gaze or close your eyes. You might have a plan for this breath, where you want it to take you, what you need for it to do, or you might just kind of be along for the ride. But in this last breath that we have together, take some inventory. Either pick out a plan or see what's possible. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Your thumbs at third eye center, that spot right between your eyebrows. You and your breath, two adventurers off for the night. Thank you for sharing all of your time this evening, all of your movement, and especially your breath. Namaste. Thank you guys. If you have questions, let me know. You can throw it in the chat for now. You can catch up with me online for after. Kate Harmony Yoga is my Instagram handle. Soul Play Yoga is the Soul Play Instagram handle. Both of us will have updates on scheduling. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Everyone's mic is on at once. I love it. Great. Bye, guys.